everybody, welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom. If this is your first time here, my name is Marie. I'm a high school English teacher in San Diego, California. And I happen to find myself at home right now in my fuzzy bunny slippers because my school is closed. My whole district is closed. Most of my state and most of our nation is closed. And so I wanted to share with you guys what my plan is, at least for my own children in this video. I'll be talking about what I'm gonna do for school, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. My first priority has been here at home, how to bring a sense of normalcy for my 3-year-old daughter and my 6-year-old son. So I'm gonna go through for you just like what our plan is. I do have to give a quick warning that I went a little overboard because I was dealing with my own anxiety by laminating everything I could find. So just kind of take some of the over-the-topness that I have that I'm about to show you with a grain of salt, but there's some really good stuff that at least might help those of you who are feeling kind of lost like me and all of a sudden become homeschool teachers, where to even start, right? So I just want to show you what I have going on. I will show you what are behind me. I have, as you can see, I have pocket charts that have our day's schedule that we will have up for each day. And sometimes it'll change a little bit and sometimes it won't, but just it's what we have planned for right now. And my plan is really to the minute, because basically what I did is I took my first grader's regular day schedule that his teacher had sent home to us during back to school night, and I just went around that. And I basically figured whenever we're doing English language arts stuff for him, my preschooler can do something where she's looking at letter recognition and phonics and that sort of a thing. So I'm just finding translations between their two ages. I'm gonna stop talking about this and I'm gonna show you what it is that I actually have going on behind me. Here is our rundown, and this is just in the middle of our house. I'm in our family room right now, which is kind of our playroom. And so you can see we're starting our our school day at 9 o'clock, because that's when both kids' schools start. My first grader and my preschooler both start at 9. And so I can talk you through a little bit of what the earlier morning looks like, but I'm just gonna do school for right now. And that's gonna have an official start to the day with some sort of morning work, and I'll show you that stuff in a second. Then after a half an hour of morning work, we're gonna move on to a read aloud each day. So I get to go through our little home library and pull some read alouds and do some reading response, language arts sort of things for both kids that are age appropriate. And then we're gonna have snack and recess. And we're gonna continue to call it recess because it legitimizes what we're doing here. Then after that, we're gonna do art or something creative every single day at 11-ish. And then we're gonna do a little bit of writing. So it's kind of more the creative part. Basically in the morning, we have our morning work and our reading part. Then we move on to our creative part of our day. And then we have lunch, which is extremely important. And then we move on to math, because I feel after they've been out and running around after lunch, because my children will have recess after lunch, we'll do some sit down, some math, number recognition and counting and patterns for my daughter. And then for my son, I actually have his Common Core math workbook, which is kind of amazing. And then I also have a whole lot of activities his teacher sent home. Math is what I was waiting for because I don't do math, I teach English. Then we'll do PE. When it rains, we'll do some Go Noodle or Cosmic Kids Yoga. All the things I'm mentioning, by the way, I will link in the description box down below. There, it's down there if you didn't know. And then some science, or in this slot, we also have social studies. My husband is a history teacher, so he was social studies and science, or STEM makerspace kind of a thing. And then free time, which I will show you in just a minute. That will be basically choosing or specials or whatever you want to call it. That's what we have there. Okay, next, there's been an addition to my homeschool box, and it's a Harry Potter wand. Cool, we'll keep it. I just wanna show you how I made and organized these things. This binder thing, you see these wire binding, it's from a cincher, I think is what it's called, that I got to make little booklets for our wedding for favors. So I haven't used this thing for 8 years. This is the first time I've used it since my wedding, and that's perfectly fine. I made the kids little adventure notebooks that we can take out around the house and in the yard or in the neighborhood if we go on walks or if we go to a lake and go walking or something like that. And I figured that could have to do with science or whatever. I made the kids both reading notebooks and writing journals. Ooh, that was louder than I anticipated. So Wyatt's Reading Notebook is actually a product I bought on TPT, which I will link down below. It's the only thing I actually paid for in all of this stuff. And so it's got a reading log, and then I just put a whole bunch of blank pages in because it's one of those interactive notebooks where he cuts stuff out and then glues it on and then writes around it. So that's that. And that will have to do with the book that he's reading or a read aloud or whatever. And then his writing journal, I just found some free templates online so he can draw a picture, he could storyboard, like whatever kind of a prompt I want to give him. And then there's space for him to write. And I asked him, do you prefer the dotted lines or just the clear lines? And he said, dotted, please. My handwriting's not that good. And I said, you're right. And then a full page, and then behind it is just a blank page, if I can get it to turn. And then this is the other template. It says beginning, middle, and end. So he could come up with some narrative or even informative writing. And I feel really comfortable with the reading and the writing because I teach literacy. Like, I'm good to go. It's the other stuff that I was nervous about. And then my daughter, because remember, she's 3, so we'll be doing a letter of the day. And so she'll be practicing her handwriting and that sort of a thing. And so this just goes through all the different letters. Oh, and then I put family pictures on the back of their journals. And then her reading notebook, I put coloring pages so that while we do a read aloud, she can be listening. And then after, she can do some coloring pages. And I will link to the free membership site where I got this. It's a really good little blog. So I made those. And then over here, I have just kind of, this isn't new to anybody, it's just teacher files. But for the kiddos, I found this great Maker's Station whole product that a TPT seller was just giving away, and I will link that down below because it's amazing. I have my son's reading activities, so I actually have his Common Core shared readings, and then I have all of those interactive notebook activities like I told you. And then here I have his math notebook. Is this might be kindergarten. Oh no, it's first grade. Okay, we're good. I have his math workbook, and then his teacher actually sent home a whole bunch of stuff, which I'm gonna print out and put in here. It's an interactive notebook, and I brought home an extra composition book from my classroom today, so that'll be good. And then my daughter's morning work is, like I said, letter of the day sheets. So I've got these big sheets like this, and then smaller sheets that have all the different letter word recognition things. Those of you who actually teach these grades are like, you're getting it all wrong. And I have St. Patrick's Day I Spy for both of them. And then my son's morning work is a little bit more age appropriate for him. I've got just some different activities. And then once again, his teacher sent home a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna use that for his morning work. And then my daughter's math, I found this amazing frozen preschool pack, which I have been talking about on Instagram for 2 days. But so this, I laminated this sheet, and so you count, and then it came with little numbers that then they can put in the squares on the side. And I made it double-sided with some other things. So we're gonna work on numbers and counting, and there's some snowflakes that she goes in here, so find the number and count them out. And then practicing drawing, practicing tracing shapes, and that sort of a thing. And then that same frozen freebie, there are a whole alphabet of frozen letters, which I laminated. I told you I went a little crazy with the lamination. And then this is some numerical puzzles for her to do. So it's kind of a lot. Yes, it took me the bulk of yesterday, Sunday, to put this all together. It made me feel better to be laminating all of that stuff. And plus, I know that the more official or the more special or different than just being home this stuff is, the better it will work with my kids, especially my daughter, who's in the other room right now and probably hears me talking about her. But if I were just to say, okay, it's time for school, she'd be like, no, mommy, it's time for, I do whatever I want because I'm 3. And because I'm not her teacher, she's not gonna listen to me in that way necessarily. So it's gonna take a little bit of training. It's gonna take a minute for her to get used to doing things to a routine and not just doing whatever she wants because she's 3.5. Oh, the one thing that I almost forgot to tell you about, free time at the bottom of our agenda, our schedule over there. I have a pack of craft sticks, I have a jar, and I'm gonna write a bunch of activities. And some of them are gonna be go on Epic, the reading app. Something's gonna be go on, or a math app or a math game. Do a puzzle, play with Play-Doh, just a bunch of different choices so that they don't have an immediate idea. I think I already said do a puzzle, play a board game, a bunch of different ideas. And this is the same sort of stuff that we set up for our kids during summer break, but this is so unprecedented and we weren't ready for this that it just feels weird to all of us. So I'm gonna do some stuff like that so that when it becomes free time, they just pull a stick and do whatever. I really hope that this is helpful for anybody out there. And if you know somebody that you know that this could help, will you please pass this video along? And there's a blog post that goes along with it. At the bottom of the blog post, there are all of the different resources linked, as well as the actual agenda cards that I made. That is a freebie, just a free download for anybody who could use it. So with that, I am going to bid you adieu because I need to finish getting all this stuff ready because school is officially in session in our household tomorrow morning, and I'm almost ready for it. I'm actually kind of excited. I wish it was under better circumstances that I could be teaching my own kids, but you know, you take what you can get. You guys, if you like this video, go ahead and click the little thumbs up button. Make sure you are subscribed. I will be vlogging probably pretty often because it calms my nerves being able to talk to people, and this is kind of like the opening of the conversation. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you have suggestions, same spiel. Until we meet again, I will see you guys next time. Bye.